Good evening, everybody. I hope you are all well and you're all good. It's nice to see so many people on already commenting and getting involved. So I'm just watching it back. There's about a 10-second delay. There you go. That gives you the idea of how it goes because I don't know if the audio is working perfectly. But it is. There you go. I've checked it now. For some reason, the audio on my computer is not working at all. So, but at least you can hear me, which is the main thing. So as always, if we start the show, if you could obviously share this stream, as always, that would be great. Really good if you can get involved. And obviously, we'll be discussing what's happened this week. We've got another Richard of the Week award. For those of you that don't know and haven't tuned in for a couple of weeks, we now do a weekly award where I will nominate 3 of my favorite stupid comments of the week. And then you watching this show later this evening will pick which one you believe is the Richard of the Week. And you can guess what that stands for. Obviously, it's just a name in my opinion. But 1 second, let me just do something. Do you know what? Facebook is really playing up today. I don't know why. Absolutely playing up. Notifications aren't coming through. I'm not seeing anything. I don't know what's going on. I absolutely don't know what's going on, but hope everybody is well. We're going to be discussing about the BBC as well, because there was a big conversation this week about defunding the BBC and whether you think the tax, in my opinion, the stealth tax, I think it's awful personally. But we'll be discussing that as well. As I say, I've got some really, really good Richard of the Week nominations, which we will go through in a lot of detail. And yeah, we'll have a little chat. So please do comment, say hello, say good evening. Tell us where you're watching from. It'd be good to know where you're watching from. Let me just message somebody quickly. Talk pages. I can't seem to. Let's say technology problems. So I'm just messaging a friend of mine to give us a hand. As always, my doggies are around. They've both been walked this time early. They've both had their dinner, so in theory they should be sleeping, but already I've been given a ballie to throw. And although it feels a little too soon, in my opinion, we've got our Christmas tree up as well. I don't know if you can see it in the reflection of my glasses, but we've got our Christmas tree up as well. Maybe a little bit early, but it does certainly make it feel more homely in this living room. So yeah, anyway, over to you guys. Let's see. Emsworth, got someone watching from Emsworth. Hello, Lucy. Hope you're well. Got someone watching from Huddersfield. Huddersfield's a long way. That's a long, long way. I wonder if my 4 YouTube watchers are watching. Who walked the dog? I walked the dog. Emily's been working today, so I walked the dogs. I walked them separately, though, because I took them out the day before yesterday in the morning, and they were a living nightmare together. Like I had one on one and one on the other, and living nightmare. So now I take them out separately unless Emily's around, because they just like to go in different directions. It's good having 2 dogs, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. Last week's Richard of the Week, as I explained to you before, Richard of the Week is something we now do to celebrate the most stupid comment I've received or the stupidest thing I've seen on social media in the last week. I've got 3 great nominations this week, really good nominations, which we'll go through in detail. And that'll probably take up about half an hour of the show, because we need to go through each one in detail, because they're in-depth Richard of the Week award nominees this week. Whereas last week, this was our winner that you guys picked. So this Unequal Canal. Now, the problem is I tried to message this Unequal Canal to give him his Richard of the Week award, but it's a fake account. So what I'm going to try and do is try and move away from fake accounts and give the awards to real people, because I want to physically give them these awards nominated by you that highlight how much of a Richard of the Week they are. So but yes, this was the comment last week that won, that said that I am a racist, and then he put hashtag kill whites. So that was the winner last week that you guys picked. Personally, I think it should have been the Green Party deputy leader, but it's your guys' decision. And that was our Richard of the Week last week. Someone's watching from Fareham. Kerry, Dave from Southsea. Cheers. Well, I say cheers. I've got black coffee. And yeah, I've already had my dinner as well. So there's no kebab tonight. We're not selecting kebabs. I had a Chinese. It was nice and easy. Because what happens is I end up running these shows too long, right? And we do them until 8:30 in the end, or 8:15, when it's only meant to be an hour. And then the time I get out and get dressed and go, I prefer going out to get a kebab usually. Watching from the estate. Yeah, you're probably the close. No, Matt, you're not the person closest that lives to me that's watching, actually. There's another person on here that lives much closer to me than you that's watching. But yeah, I usually go out and get my takeaway, but say I've had it tonight already. So my little Fredster's down below me, looking really lovingly into my eyes for some reason. Not entirely sure what he bloody wants. But anyway, let's start the show off. We're talking about the BBC, first of all, the BBC. And this week, obviously, there was another scandal, of course, as you probably know, with the Donald Trump editing of the panorama footage, where they made Donald Trump appear like he said something that he didn't say. And there was a massive debate then that followed on from that, whether it's time to defund the BBC. So I'm going to show you the clip of when I was on Talk TV this week. Now, for those of you that watch Talk TV, and I know a few of you did catch my appearance because I've received a number of messages from it, you'll know that they put me head to head, and I'm not going to show you the full interview because it is 15 minutes, but you can find it on YouTube if you want. But they put me head to head with a BBC producer, an ex-BBC producer, who was clearly drunk before going on the show and was actually drinking wine during the interview. It was absolutely hilarious. But I want to give my points on whether I think the BBC is fit for purpose. And this is what I said on Talk TV earlier this week.
We've got to bring George in.
Read the legal opinions on it.
Yeah.
Legal opinions say forget it all.
Yeah, no. I can give you legal opinions which say he's in for a hell of a lot of money. George, let me bring you in. I mean, I'm not trying to gang up on Johnny. I respect his opinion. I personally think the licence fee has had its day. I assume you agree with me. If you do, explain why.
Yeah, I mean, let's unpack everything John just said. It's funny that the two big institutions of our country, right, the monarchy and BBC, are both riddled with scandals at the moment. And BBC especially, this is the home of Jimmy Savile, of Hugh Edwards, of the Princess Diana scandal, you know, even recently the Bob Vylan scandal, and now this. You know, they are not fit for purpose. They haven't been for several years. Institutionally, I believe that they're corrupt. And unlike a private corporation, they don't have any masters to beckon to, which yes, does have its positives, of course, because they can do really balanced, impartial and diverse content that probably wouldn't get made without a BBC licence fee. However, they're not responsible. Clearly, they're not responsible. They keep making errors, and they make error and error and error. The tax has been a stealth tax, in my opinion, for donkey's years. And as you said, the BBC is historic. They've got a lot of content, and there could be alternative funding models. But every single kind of analyst at the moment is saying there's probably a value of £8 to £9 billion on the sale of BBC. Personally, I think that's the way it should go. It should go into corporate hands. And with that, a different funding model, we've got a massive back history of shows, programs, data that we could sell off to acquisition partners. That's how you raise the money for the BBC and keep it going. The only thing I personally like about the BBC is their local programming. I really do like that. I think that's very balanced. I think it's very neutral.
That's only because they put you on. That's only because they put you on, George.
They don't actually, to be honest with you. They don't.
He's from Reform.
I wish they did. They put me on for the very first time only 2 weeks ago. So I wish they did put me on more. But you know, I like it because when I turn on the news channel at 6:30, it always does seem like balanced and fair local information that I do worry that we wouldn't get without it. That's the only positive. But at the end of the day, it's past its time now. People do not want the BBC. It's been wildly unpopular for polls for decades now, where people don't.
Rubbish.
Well, let me just. I want to talk more generally about the BBC.
So yeah, that was my views on the BBC. Good evening, Richard. A lot of people. North End massive. Watching from Haven. Good evening, everyone. Anyway, yeah, that was my points on the BBC. Listen, I really don't think that they're fit for purpose anymore. Look, they institutionally protected Jimmy Savile, which they survived 10 years ago now, the scandal, maybe 15 years ago. It was a long time ago now, wasn't it? And then obviously they set up Princess Diana with Bashir for that interview. And then they got Hugh Edwards. That was a scandal itself, and people knew about that. Recently, the Bob Vylan thing, now the Donald Trump thing on Panorama. It's just been consistent. I mean, even their political bias narrative, they've broke many times. They're meant to be politically neutral, and I think most people here can agree that they're not neutral. They always give an opinion, etc. So I just think that I don't even know what it costs anymore. So I don't watch live TV. So I don't actually have a BBC license. I literally have Netflix and bits and pieces. Well, I guess she has a BBC license. So I guess technically it means I haven't paid a BBC license because I purposely don't watch live TV out of protest. But she, unfortunately... No, we've got to pay it. But this is the problem, though, is that people feel they've got to pay it. People feel they've got to pay it. And if you feel like you've got to pay it and it's illegal not to pay it, then it is a stealth tax. It is a tax. It's I think it's disgusting. Personally, I absolutely hate it. I can't stand the thing. People are already getting onto the Richard of the Week. Look, we can come on to that early if you guys want. If that's all you're here for, is the Richard of the Week award. We could just do a show every week about the Richard of the Week awards. But we'll get onto that in a minute. There is some good ones coming up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't like the BBC. Can't stand them. I don't know really anything that's good that's on BBC. And so I know you just said EastEnders, Matt, but no, I haven't watched that for years. I don't know. I don't know. People are saying about Richard of the Week this week has to be Dave and other councillors from Lib Dems for blags in the leaflets. I forgot about that, Charlene. I didn't even add that onto the list of considerations for the Richard of the Week. I completely forgot that even happened. It's been such a busy week. And someone suggested about the Gosport Lib Dems as well, because they've been talking tosh all week as well. Which, do you know what's hilarious, right? Is that under this local government reorganisation, which, let's make no mistake whatsoever, is abysmal. And for those of you who don't know what local government reorganisation is, the government are basically forcing councils to merge together to create super councils. So in a couple of years' time, literally a couple of years' time, 2 years' time, we will have a council that's got Gosport, Fareham, Havant, and Portsmouth combined. And no matter where you're watching this in the country, there's a chance that you'll be going through some kind of reorganisation as well. And it isn't a good thing. I can't see many positives about it at all. But what's hilarious is that the leader of Portsmouth City Council, Steve Pitt, who's a Liberal, and the leader of Gosport Council, which is a guy called Peter Chegwin, who's a Liberal, they hate each other. Like, literally hate each other. Like, I have heard Steve say some very bad things about Peter Chegwin. And I'm like, you guys are the same party. So it's going to be hilarious because they're going to be fighting on day one when those authorities combine. So yeah, so that's the only funny thing that will come out of that. Stand Up to Racism are all Richards. Yeah, I mean, look, Stand Up to Racism, I'm sure one day will be nominated for a Richard of the Week award. They're not this week. But yeah, I'm sure they will. Okay, I'll do you guys a deal then, because everyone cares about the Richard of the Week. We'll change around the show a little bit. So if everyone shares this quickly and we go up by another, let's say, 30 viewers across all the channels. So no matter if you're on X or Facebook or YouTube, share this post, share the live stream onto your pages or onto your groups or whatever. And when it goes up 30 more, we'll go straight to the Richard of the Week, because everybody then that's watching, all the new watchers, will be like, this is what people watch for, the Richard of the Week award. The license fee is a big scam. I need one to watch live sports on Sky or TNT, but don't watch BBC. I know that's another thing with it, with the license fee, is that even if you don't watch BBC, if you watch something else live, you have to. But this is why I watch everything on catch up. Like, I'll watch the darts and stuff, but I'll always watch it on catch up, which is actually quite annoying because I always have to like tell my friends and stuff, don't tell me the results. But I literally do. If you knew me, you'll know how stubborn I was, and know that I literally will not watch TV for live TV for love nor money, unless it's in a pub or something like that, you know. Someone's just it's Ray Dent, but that's if Steve Pitt is still a councillor. That is true. He could lose his councillor seat next year for sure. 180 quid for a buyer's 180 quid a year. Is that how much a license fee is now? Wow. It's expensive. Do they give discounts to older people still? Because I know that they got rid of because it's another thing that the government, not this current government, but the previous government got rid of for OAPs, isn't it? They used to get free license fees, but do they get a discount or do they just pay the full whack now? I don't even know anything about that kind of stuff. So if any of you know, that'd be interesting to know. So, okay. Let's do the Richard of the Week. Let's do it early. I'll give you what you want. You pulled and twisted my arm. And now we'll do it. And the Richard of the Week Awards is going to be a long, long explanation, because we're going to have to go there. They're all connected in some way or another. So buckle yourselves in and let's go for the... I feel like I need a jingle, like Richard of the Week. It could be Dick. Because Dick is short for Richard, isn't it? Oh, I didn't think of that when naming this. It's a bit of luck in it. Could be like Dick of the Week, Dick of the Week, Dick of the Week, Dick of the Week. Anyway, I'm losing my head. So, before we start the Richard of the Week award, let's just explain to you people that are watching at home what the Richard of the Week award is. Now, the Richard of the Week award is an award that we give collectively, me and you watching at home, to the stupidest comment that has come across social media, or it could be in the news, or it could be whatever, but the stupidest comment that I've seen this week. And we get 3 competitors, and then once I've explained them all, you guys at home then vote on who should be the Richard of the Week. And then I will, just for my own shits and giggles really, will print off a copy of the Richard of the Week, add their name to it, and send it to them as an award. And then every month, so next week will be the first week of that, so at the end of this month, we will collectively nominate a Richard of the Month award. And then at the end of the 12 months, we'll get a Richard of the Year award. It's good stuff, this, isn't it? Good stuff. This is what you tune in for. But we have had a few more viewers join us now. So hello if you're joining. This is the Richard of the Week award. Now, before we start the Richard of the Week award, I want you to guess what could possibly be coming up in the Richard of the Week. Have a little guess. Pop in the comments what you think. Have you seen stupid comments online? Have you seen somebody say something stupid? Has something come out in the press that's ridiculous? Let's have a guess of what could be the top 3 Richard of the Week awards this week. And I'll give you a little clue. This week, they're all relatively local. Last week we did national, so national Richard of the Weeks. And this week we're going to do local Richard of the Week. So we'll try and change it up each week to make it fair. Don't want to exclude anybody, do I? And there were some good competitors this week, but I had a theme and I wanted to stick to the theme, and I'm sure I'm going to upset a few people. Someone said Ed Davey. Yeah, I tend not to try and follow that bloke. What's he said this week that's dumb? I wasn't from Portsmouth. Do you know what? That was last Sunday, wasn't it? I should have put it in last week's Richard of the Week awards. But yeah, that was a silly thing to say. That was a silly thing to say. They have apologized, so I'll take that. They did message, but yeah, they did message to apologize to me, and I accept that because I am from Portsmouth, and it was a dumb thing to say. It did annoy me. It did annoy me. People are getting really upset. I don't know do any of you follow me on X at all? Because people are getting really upset with a recent tweet I put out. Like that never happens. This is the funny thing as well, right? Just let me explain this one, right? I get a lot of hate, as a lot of you probably know. Maybe some of you that are watching this right now hate me, because I do know that the lovely people from like Portsmouth Exposed or Name and Shame, blah, 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 they watch my live streams, and they could be tuning in live, or they could be watching back. I know they watch. And I've got a good idea who they are. One of them's a very naughty person, and that's why they're anonymous. It's almost like I should expose the Portsmouth Exposed lot. She can't be asked. I know one of them for sure. And they're a little bit naughty, as I say, and that's why they hide themselves, because they would, yeah, a little bit naughty. But as I say, all these anonymous people are naughty because they otherwise wouldn't be anonymous, and they're cowards, literal cowards. But Star, do you know what? I wonder if Richard of the Week should have been Starmer because of his trip and fall. I didn't pick Keir Starmer either. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, like I get a lot of hate, as you guys know, from the left. It comes with the territory, but it genuinely doesn't bother me. And I get a lot of messages from a lot of you, a hell of a lot of you actually, each week saying you've seen this, am I okay, and stuff. And a lot of you check on me, and I really do appreciate it. I genuinely do. It's so nice to have people that, you know, most of you I've never met in real life. You know, I know some of you that are on here, I certainly know you personally, but a lot of you I've never met in real life. And the fact that you're defending or caring about a complete stranger that you follow on social media truly means a lot. I'm not being all soppy here, but it does. It'd be a lot more difficult to do what I do if you guys weren't engaging and defending me, essentially, because the problem is that obviously I'm only one person. I can't sit there defending myself all day, and you know, I see a lot of you guys that are involved, a lot of you do comment and message and things like that, and I do appreciate it. But please know that it doesn't bother me, because I think that doing what I do, you need to not care. And if you do care, look, some counsellors don't do the kind of larger things that I do, and they don't get as much hate as me. That's fine. But when you put your head above the parapet, you get crap, right? You get crap sometimes. But it really doesn't bother me. It genuinely doesn't. So although I always thank you for your kind words and caring, never think that I'm sitting there upset or stressed or anything, because I think the most important thing is that I know I've never done anything wrong. So, you know, it really doesn't bother me. Sticks and stones and all, you know, sticks and stones. But anyway, Richard the Week. Why is my X blowing up currently? I'm getting messages after messages after messages on X right now. What on earth is going on? Someone must have retweeted me that's big or something. Anyway, Richard of the Week. Let's do it. Let's do it. And we're going to have some fun this week with the Richard of the Week award, which you guys will pick. So now tune in from this moment onwards. Don't turn off your phones. Don't click on a different app. You need to know everything about the Richard of the Week nominees. And then you guys can decide. Let's just for this week, let's just call it Dick of the Week. You know, I'm not being offensive. Dick is a name that's abbreviated short for Richard, isn't it? We all know that. So, you know, you got Dick Whittington, haven't you? The Christmas pantomime. So Dick of the Week, because it's just easier and shorter, is selected by you guys, and you guys pick it. So here we go. Now, the first option you've got, option number 1, I had to do this, is me. Option number 1 is me. You can pick me as the winner of this week of the Dick of the Week Awards. Because how, after this week, could I possibly not nominate myself? And the reason why, for those of you that didn't see it, is a lefty rag called the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, written by this man, Emiliano Melino. It's a plot twist, isn't it? Who actually is from Portsmouth, by the way, lives in Portsmouth. I think he still lives in Portsmouth anyway, but certainly connected to Portsmouth. Wrote a scathing article about me with 2 things. First of all, that said that that I advocated that young people should be paid less. And the other thing about that companies that I run failed to pay tribunal awards. Ooh. So obviously it's not a great story. But first and foremost, I never said young people should be paid less. No. Never said it. I said that their wage should be frozen. My God, the viewers has just shot up. Funny that, isn't it? I put this on there and the viewers shoot up. I can imagine loads of lefties infiltrating right now going, oh my God, he's nominated himself. Let's get him to win the awards. But if you think I'm the biggest dick of the week, then absolutely you can nominate me. I will not feel bad in any way, shape or form. But so the reason I nominated myself is because it's connected and relevant to people that might be nominated afterwards. So let's go through this quickly. Now, for those of you that haven't seen it or have seen it, this lefty reporter who is actually connected to the lefty Your Party, Green Party. It's Your Party, I think, not Green Party. I don't know. One of them is connected to one of those. Is a supporter of one of those. Did an article on me because they found out that years ago, I think it's 3 years ago now, 2 years ago, whenever it was, I had tribunals awarded against me for not correctly paying staff that used to work for a company I used to work with. Now, the reason I've nominated myself is because I was a dick, a Richard. I was a Richard for not doing my due diligence, and I accept that. Because I only found out about these tribunal cases only, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago now, very recently, when they were dug up by a lefty that stalks me, literally stalks me, and they discovered these tribunals and posted them online. I had no knowledge of them beforehand because the company closed in December, I think it was, 2022. And to be honest with you, it closed. We gave the keys back, paid everybody off, and boom, done. Never thought nothing of it again. And the accountant basically said to me, just wait for the company to strike off because it will strike off naturally, and never the twain shall meet. That'll be that. So that's what I did. So maybe it's my fault, my error, because I didn't check. And as the company director, you absolutely should check. I accept that. So that's why I've nominated myself for a Dick of the Water week. Now, the tribunals are important, and this is the part I will defend. And if you saw my status yesterday, it's really important. There was a couple of tribunals found against me. Now, first of all, and we'll go through this in a different option in a minute, the tribunals are not courts. They're not judges. So there's no admission of guilt or wrongdoing. There's no court or no judge that's found that I've done anything wrong. That's the first and foremost. Secondly, the two staff in question that we're talking about here filed their tribunal paperwork 6 months after they knew the business had closed, because they were involved in the closure and they lived just a street away from the premises in question. And they put their tribunal paperwork and filed it to that address that they knew nobody was at. They didn't file it to the company because obviously we moved, as a lot of you know, to Drayton. So they didn't file it in Drayton, where they knew that a new restaurant was formed and operating, blah, 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 and that I was contactable there. They gave it to an old address that they knew was closed. So I never knew this existed whatsoever. Now, when as a company you don't respond to a tribunal claim, the tribunal don't find you guilty. They don't listen to a defense. They don't find you of any wrongdoing. What they do is they find in your absence. It's called find in your absence. They award the judgment, no matter what it was. They could have put 20 grand on there or 100 grand. They could put whatever they wanted. They would have been awarded that in absence of a response from the employer. And that's what's happened here. Is I had no ability to defend it because I didn't know it existed. They filed it at an address knowing that I wouldn't be there. And, you know, I posted on my status yesterday, for those of you that read it, the circumstances around those were not straight and narrow. First of all, that restaurant I never run myself. I never managed it. I never operated it. I never looked after it. I never, you know, I popped in there once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks or whatever, after the first couple of months of it being open. But I never run it. I had a manager throughout there the entire time, from the day it opened to the day it closed. I had a manager there who hired the staff, fired the staff, did everything. It was merely an investment property for me. And yeah, I say I had no knowledge of it whatsoever. So, but the reason I'm nominating myself, and by the way, just so you know as well, I've challenged these. Now I found out about them. I went to the court and challenged them. And this is why I was surprised that the Bureau of Investigative Journalism actually reported on it, because I made them aware that an application had been put in to set aside the judgments and get rid of them due to my evidence. And the evidence I've got simply is that I agreed a settlement with one of the staff, which I did. And the other member of staff, they actually stole off me. They were thieves. And they stole off me and a few of my colleagues at the time. And they come to an agreement as well. And I've sent that evidence off to the courts. And now it is with the court. And now it is with the judge. I'm waiting for an outcome. And I was quite surprised that this alleged media organization posted this article, because you're not meant to, as a media organization, post articles when there's a pending court investigation. That's why all the media always say to you, we can't report on this crime because it's going through courts. They don't report on things that are proactively going through courts. They're not meant to do that. And this organization has chosen to. And the reason I think they've chosen to, more than likely, is because I provided them with my side of events, my version of events, and I think they probably know that within 2 weeks this court case is going to be gone, scrapped, it will be found in my favor, and will basically not exist anymore. And if they waited until that point in 2 weeks' time, their article could never have been posted, could it? It could never have been posted. And as I say, that article was written by someone that's attached to Pompey, called Emilio Milano, and is friends with some of the massive left-wing socialist councillors and campaigners in Portsmouth. So it's of no surprise that they wrote an article about me at all, and no surprise. But I have put complaints in. So that's why I've nominated myself as the first option for the Richard of the Week award. And the reason I said that I've done that is not because I am guilty of anything, far from it, but because I didn't do my due diligence, and I was dumb for not double, triple, quadruple checking that the company had closed properly, when I was assured by my accountant that it would and was, and it wasn't. So that's why I've nominated myself as option one. But as I say, the other reason is because of option 2 and option 3. Now, I know there's been another 25 of you join since I started talking. So this is the Richard of the Week award, and every week we nominate, or you nominate, you pick who the biggest Richard, I like to call Dick because I like a shorter name, Dick of the Week award goes to. It's completely your choice. I just nominate people, you choose. We've done option 1. Now let's go on to option 2. Option 2 is this man. Some of you may know him, some of you may not know him. He's Councillor Cal Corkery. Now, he's a Portsmouth City councillor, and he's been on council for 8 years, originally as a Labour member, pro-Corbyn, very pro-Corbyn. And he got kicked out of Labour Party for basically being too left-wing, for being too extreme. And Labour removed him from the party. They kicked him out, got rid of him. And he now sits, in theory, as an independent member. But he's not really independent. For those of you that watch him will know that he does stand alongside the Stand Up to Racism protesters. He does support the Palestine Action Group or Palestine Group, whatever they're called. And he is a proactive member of the new Corbyn Your Party. So he really is a Your Party councillor in all but name. Now, the reason why Cal Corkery is option number 2 is because he put a quote in that article about me. Now, let's have a look at this quote. The quote he gave us is that Cal Corkery, a councillor who sits on Portsmouth City Council Employment Committee, said that Reform are led nationally by an ex-banker and locally here in Portsmouth by a businessman whose companies have repeatedly broken employment law. Reform are exposing themselves as just another party of the privileged elite. Now, the reason why that quote is a problem, right? And this is why he's been nominated this week by myself, is because he's made a massive, massive error of judgment and mistake here. Because what he's done is he's factually put in that quote as a councillor. So he's acting as a councillor, as the employment committee member who used to chair the employment committee. He stated a fact that I, George, have repeatedly broken employment law. Now, a tribunal, as I explained earlier, is not employment law. It's not a judge. It's not a court. They did not find any wrongdoing and they did not find any guilt in their ruling, which means that he has defamed me, created defamation, which is illegal. And Mr. Cal Corkery has been sent a legal notice. I sent it to him yesterday. And he's also going to go through that process now. But this is why I've nominated him for a Richard of the Week award, because he's really mucked up here, really mucked up. Because someone that's on employment law and is criticising me for an employment law is clearly has no idea how employment law works. He's chaired the employment committee for Portsmouth City Council. And as a chair of the employment committee for Portsmouth City Council, he didn't even realise how employment law works. Not only that, I didn't even realise this until this morning when I was searching him up. So I went on his profile, which you can all do. If you just go on Google and you type in Councillor Cal Corkery, his profile will step up. And I will add a look at his attendance record. Hold your horses. And this is why also he could be a Richard of the Week. His attendance record is 29% as of the 19th of November. Now, to put that into perspective, I'm under the understanding that not only is that the lowest attendance record right now of all 42 councillors that exist, but also it's the lowest attendance record ever in Portsmouth City Council. That's what I believe. That's what I've been told. That's what I believe. Not saying it's fact. That's what I believe. And he's only attended 29% of meetings in council that he was meant to attend. Now, I know that life gets in the way and things happen. However, 29% is truly appalling in the last 6 months. So in the last 6 months, Cal has probably been paid 8,000, maybe 7,000 from the taxpayer. You guys have paid him £7,000, and for that, he's attended, look at that, 2 meetings. He's been paid £7,000, £8,000 roughly, give or take, in that time, and he's attended 2 meetings for it. Now, if that ain't a nomination for a Richard of the Week, I don't know what is, because the man is a socialist. He stands on the left and he's all about rights and the people and giving back and making everything equal. But yet he's happy to take £7,000 from you, the taxpayer, and only turn up to 2 recorded meetings. Now, I'm sure he's done other local council community work, like spent his time standing at Stand Up to Racism protests and calling all the people that don't want illegal immigrants here Nazis and things like that. You know, I'm sure he's probably done that. He might not have done, but he probably has. But 29% attendance record is shocking. It's the worst of all 42. So he is the second option of your Richard of the Week. Not only for being on the employment committee and a former chair of the employment committee, but not understanding employment law, not only for potentially defaming somebody in an article, but also because out of all 42 councillors on this city council right now, he has the worst attendance record out of all of them. And that, my friends, could be a Richard of the Week award. It's for you guys to decide. So that's option number 2. So we're going to go on to option number 3 in a minute. But I thought we'd just go back to the comments. And for those of you that are just tuning in now, we're doing a Richard of the Week award, which highlights the most stupid thing or a thing that's happened this week, basically. Basically. So we're going to go on to the third one in a minute. So option number 1 is myself for ending up in the newspaper because I was silly. Option number 2 is Cal Corkery, who not only doesn't understand employment law as someone that sits on the employment committee for Portsmouth City Council, but equally he defamed me potentially in an article, and he's got the lowest attendance record out of any councillor as of the 19th of November 2025. So that's the 2 so far. Now the third one's a good one. You're going to love this. And yes, Charlene, you've nailed it, my friend. Option number 3, here we go, is, and bear with me here, is Amanda Martin MP, our illustrious MP of Portsmouth North, the very lady herself who accepted a donation from a convicted criminal so that she could afford to stand for election. It's true. If you don't believe me, Google it. She accepted a donation from a convicted criminal. Not only that, she didn't even declare it. Or did she declare it? That was Stephen Morgan. Stephen Morgan didn't declare it. But yeah, she accepted a donation from a convicted criminal. But that's not why she is being nominated for the Richard of the Week. Oh, no, my friends. No. It's because, well, let's talk you through the story. Just 5 days ago now, she posted a status and said, really pleased to see Kenyon Road resurfacing is complete. Now, this is in Copner, for those of you that don't know. And she says that they raised it with me back in the election, and it's great to see it's finally been done. I'm proud to have helped secure 2.7 million in additional funding to tackle the potholes in Portsmouth. You reported it, we sorted it. Check out the results, and you can see there how it looked before and how it looks now, which is impressive, right? On the surface, really good, really good. That's the kind of good work that a councillor does, not an MP, a councillor. So this is where it all kicked off. And the reason that she's being nominated this week for a potential Richard of the Week award, depending on what you guys think, is because she managed to do something that very few people can do. She managed to get all the rival parties that are not Labour to agree together that she is a bloody... So first of all, it started with Peter Williams. Now, Peter Williams and me do not get on in any capacity. He is a troll in the best of words. However, he's a Liberal Democrat, and he said that he's slightly puzzled. Has the money you've mentioned been paid to Portsmouth City Council, or our roads maintenance were already funded as part of a long-term contract with Cola? So he had already highlighted as a Liberal Democrat that this has already been funded, and she come up with some rubbish about blah, 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 blah. Then I commented on it, and I said, yeah, in my old tone as I do, you are literally respectfully talking out of your bottom hole. I thought that was quite nice of me. Now, I'm no Tory, but I can even begin this claim in capacity is ridiculous. Labour voted against this road improvement. Now, I think this is the important thing here, is that this road improvement, and I would love to take credit myself, but it was nothing to do with me or my colleagues. This road was actually secured by the Conservatives, and we'll go on to that in a minute, and I'll show you the proof and evidence of it so that you know that this MP that we've elected is literally a liar. Now, if I said that she's a liar and she wasn't, I could get into some serious trouble. And that's why I'm so confident to say to you that she is a liar. She's lied about me repeated times. She is a consistent liar. Horrendous person. Now, she turned around and claimed this road. Now, the Conservatives secured this in something called a budget. Now, every single year, in February, we have a budget that goes through council, and we get a set amount. We'll say we, not me, but the council's full council gets a set amount of money to allocate to different departments and different things. Now, that budget is run by whoever runs the administration, in this instance, Liberal Democrats. Now, the Liberal Democrats can put that money wherever they like. However, there's a caveat here, because the Liberal Democrats need 22 councillors, or 21 plus 1, 22 councillors to get their budget through. And this is a really important factor, because they only have 18 councillors, which means they can't get their budget through without the support of other councillors, which means they need to do things or do deals or agreements with other parties and other councillors to get things through. Now, the Conservatives, we'll go back to this. The Conservatives put an amendment in, which you can see here. I don't know if there's any way of me getting it larger for you, but they put an amendment which is amended by Councillor Simon Bosher, who is a Conservative, and Councillor Benedict Swan, who's a Conservative for Copner. Now, they put a budget through, which you'll see here. I'll just show it to you on your screen. This is back in February 2025, so earlier this year now. Is that, and you can see the budget there, and they put in there additional capital program appendices. Now, you'll see there, just below that, it says, add resurfacing of Kenyon Road, Copner for £50,000. Now, that was a Conservative budget amendment that went through. So, Conservatives did it, not the Independents, not Reform, not Liberals, not Labour. The Conservatives put this forward and Liberal Democrats accepted it. But yet Amanda Martin wants to claim that somehow she had involvement in it. Now, this budget is not a government budget. It's a budget that's taken out of the money you pay as council tax, that we raise in business rates, that we get for renting out our properties, for services that we provide. This is not a government-backed project, and in fact, she had no involvement in this in any capacity whatsoever. This was secured by full council. We all voted on it, and Amanda had no involvement in it in any capacity. And as I say, not only did Peter Williams from the Liberal Democrats comment on there against her, not only did I comment on there against her, but also Simon Bosher, the leader of the Conservatives in Portsmouth, made a very good point and said that Kenyon Road was specifically listed in our Conservative budget amendment, which the Lib Dem administration accepted and Labour chose not to support. So not only did Labour or Amanda Martin not secure the road resurfacing, but also Simon's saying here that Labour chose not to support it. So he's saying that Labour councillors didn't even support the Kenyon Road resurfacing, let alone have any involvement in it. And Simon goes on to say it's extremely disingenuous of them to claim something they had nothing to do with. All the hard work for this rightly belongs to Councillor Benedict Swan. Now, I don't necessarily think it all goes down to Benedict Swan. You know, it was a collective thing. However, yeah, she tried to claim it. She tried to claim that she did the right. I mean, it's just a lie. It's just a freaking lie. You know, it takes the traffic and transport. You know, she could say, well, residents came to me and said things. It doesn't matter. It went through on the budget. The Conservatives put it forward. Labour went against it, according to Simon Bosher. We approved it. And there you go. It got done. It takes time to get these things done through traffic and transport because it's such a busy department. Amanda Martin claimed something she didn't do, and that's why she is the third option for the Richard of the Week award, the Dick of the Week award. So there we have it. Now, for those of you who just tuned in, because I notice there's another 20 people here, the Richard of the Week award is an award that you, right now, in about 2 minutes' time, will pick of who is the biggest Richard or Dick of the Week. And it's completely your choice who you pick. I'll open up the comments in a minute for you to choose two different options, or sorry, choose between the three different options. And the options are, we'll just refresh this week, is myself. I nominated myself because I was dumb and didn't do my due diligence to double check, which ended me up in a bloody article, although it will be overturned soon, so I would ignore it a little bit. But I was a bit silly. So that's Dick of the Week option number one is me. And you can vote for me. Don't think you can't. If you think I'm the biggest dick of these three, please vote for me. I will not be offended. I'll take it as an honour. Now, moving on to number two is Councillor Cal Corkery. That's your option number two. So remember this, option number two is Councillor Cal Corkery. And the reason we've nominated him is threefold. Number one, that he was the chairman of the Employment Committee for Portsmouth City Council and is still on the Employment Committee of Portsmouth City Council, but yet he doesn't know how employment law works. Number two is the reason is because he put a quote in defaming me, potentially, saying inaccuracy about me because he doesn't understand how the difference between court judge decisions and tribunals in absence. And number 3, because he has the lowest attendance record of any of the 42 councillors currently on Portsmouth City Council. And in that 6 months, as you can see, from the 18th of May 2025 to the 19th of November, just 4 days ago now, he had only attended 29% of the meetings that are recorded that he's meant to attend, which is 2. As you can see, he's only attended 2 meetings. And in that time, he's probably received £7,000 or £8,000 of taxpayers' money to do those meetings. And option number 3 is our Portsmouth North MP, the one that accepted donations from a convicted criminal, is Amanda Martin, MP for Portsmouth North, the Labour MP who claimed a road resurfacing that she had absolutely no involvement in any capacity whatsoever. And it was actually the Conservatives that did it through a budget in February. And Simon Bowsher, the leader of Conservatives himself, has categorically made it clear that Labour didn't even support the recommendation to do Kenyon Road. So not only did Amanda claim it, but she claimed something that not only did she not do, but her own councillors, according to Simon, voted against it. So that's your 3 options of the Dick of the Week award this week. Now I'm going to open up the comments, and we will get all the comments in from Facebook, from X, from YouTube, from TikTok. Start commenting. Option 1, 2, or 3. Do you think it's me, the Dick of the Week? Do you think it's option 2, which is Cal Corkery? Or do you think it's option number 3, Amanda Martin MP? And you can pick. Just comment away. You guys decide what you believe is the biggest Dick of the Week. And they will receive a physical printed out copy. Do you know what? I might even frame it. A Richard of the Week award, especially for them. So feel free to place your votes. Someone put, there was calls for former councillor Daniel Weems to resign. He got bad attendance. Yeah, he gave up, didn't he? And to say, if you guys want to vote me, I'm sure there's some of my haters watching on right now. I'm sure there is. Disclose yourself and vote for me. You can vote for me. If you think I am the biggest dick of the week, I have no issues with it whatsoever. I am sometimes a dick. I don't claim not to be. But aren't we all sometimes? I think we are. We've all got a bit of a dick in us, haven't we? That sounds wrong. That's going to be clipped, isn't it? George saying this. I am not saying that in a rude term. I'm just saying that we can all be a bit of a dick sometimes. That's what I'm saying. Do you know, I can never get through a live stream without saying something that can be edited and clipped against me, can I? Kerry said, I'm gutted you didn't go in my nomination for Dick of the Week. Portsmouth Name and Shame for dissing you constantly. Look, Kerry, Portsmouth Name and Shame is run by a guy who is an egomaniac, who literally is a criminal. He's convicted of a crime. The guy, that's the reason he stays anonymous, because he's not a good person. So I wouldn't worry about what Name and Shame say. So, yeah, speak for yourself, Jacob. Speak for yourself. Right, where is these chat comments? I need to start. There you go. Right, okay. Start having a look. So we've got Amanda Martin, Cal Corkery, Amanda Martin, Cal Corkery, Amanda Martin. That's 7-2 to Amanda Martin so far. 8-2, 9-2, 10-2, 10-3, 10-4, 10-4-1. I got a vote. That's good. At least I'm not the only one. At least I'm not the one that's left out. 11-4-2. 11-4-1, sorry. 11. So you can keep voting. Someone's voted for Mark Roberts. Yeah, I think, Matt, we could do a secondary category of all the things that Mark Roberts says. Now, for the... do you know what? Mark will actually love this. I don't know if he's watching, but if he's not, Matt, you can relate. Now, Mark Roberts, for a lot of you, I don't know if you've ever seen him on my post. He, literally trolls me all the time. But the thing that a lot of people don't realise is he's actually a friend of mine. And we just have really big banter. So we just rip each other continually. And I had a lady come up to me in a residence meeting the other day and said, listen, why do you allow that Mark Roberts on your page? All he does is abuse you. It's like he's a friend of mine. Then when I posted the status the other day about my employees and stuff, Mark used to work for me work with me, not for me. To be fair, he helped during COVID a little bit when it was lockdown, and I was doing all the food for the homeless people and delivering food for homeless, and he helped me do that. And he commented on there going, when I used to work for George, he used to whip me if I didn't. I thought, fuck's sake, Mark, I'll be in the newspaper next, won't it? George's former employee says he used to physically assault them if they didn't do what he said. Thanks, Mark. I've got 2 votes now, which is good. Amanda Martin's still winning, though. Amanda Martin's still winning. Now, Mark Roberts has got just as many votes as me now, and he wasn't even an option. So this is a plot twist. Mark Roberts has got 2 votes, the same as me, and he wasn't even an option. Most people on it didn't even probably realise. So you can still vote. So let's go through these again, just so we're very clear. These are the options for the Dick of the Week. Dick of the Week. Rich of the Week, obviously, to be respectful. This is like a Karen. It's just a joke, people. Just a light-hearted joke. Don't get offended. But we have got myself as option number 1. Myself as option number 1. Oh, Harvey, if you're here, I'll just run through it quickly then. I'll just come through it quickly, Harvey, and go through it with you, as he's just logged on. So the options for Rich of the Week this week are myself, for ending up in the newspaper for being a naughty boy that I didn't know about. Option number 2 is Councillor Cal Corkery of Charles Dickens Ward, who is a Your Party associated member. But the reason he's on there is because, 1, he's on the Employment Committee and was chair of the Employment Committee, but doesn't actually understand employment law. Number 2, he potentially did a a libelous. Let's use the word libelous. He said he did a libelous statement about me, which was factually incorrect. And number 3, because he's got the lowest attendance record out of any councillor in Portsmouth City Council at this moment in time. And then option number 3 for you to choose from is Amanda Martin. Now, Amanda Martin, if you didn't know, Harvey, she claimed to resurface a road, or have helped to resurface a road in Copner, when in fact, the truth of the matter is she had no involvement in whatsoever, because it was actually Conservatives that secured it during a recent budget. And not only that, the leader of the Conservatives, Simon Bosher, made it very clear that Labour councillors actually voted against resurfacing the road. They voted against resurfacing the road. So not only did she claim the victory, not only did she claim it when she had no involvement, but her own local councillors voted against doing it. So it's just an absolute lie. So that's the 3 options for the Rich of the Week award this week. At the moment, Amanda is winning, but we'll keep it open for a few more minutes while the votes are still coming through. Gavin Thomas. Gavin Thomas is clearly a Labour stooge. He said, why do you keep mentioning accepting money from a convicted criminal when I believe monies were returned as soon as his past was known? Gavin, if you believe that, you're okay. So this is basically, you're going to make me talk about it now, Gavin. You're the one that's bringing it to the surface. I only mentioned it twice in passing. Gavin, but now you're going to have to make me highlight it. Now, Gavin, let me tell you what happened, my friend. The Times, as in the Times newspaper, a proper credible newspaper, discovered that a convicted criminal from Southampton, I believe, gave money to Amanda Martin to run for election. And he also gave money to Stephen Morgan. Now, Stephen Morgan failed to declare this money. He never told anybody it existed. And Amanda Martin accepted the money from a convicted criminal. Now, you're claiming, or Gavin's saying, that as soon as she found out about the money, she returned it as soon as his past was known. Now, I'm calling crap on that one, Gavin, because this person wasn't just a random convicted criminal. And first of all, let me just point out, if someone's donating 5, 10, 20 grand to me, I'm going to do a quick thing called a Google search to make sure they're legit. And political parties, if you're accepting donations over £500, have a duty of care to look at that person and to make sure that they're a credible person that can donate, Gavin. So if she's failed to do that, and Stephen Morgan's failed to do that, and they've accepted 5, 10, 20 grand, whatever it was, because I think one accepted 5 or 10 and one accepted 20, whatever it was, if they've accepted that without doing their due diligence, now you can search this man's name on Google who gave them the money. And the first top 10 how he was a convicted criminal, how he broke the law, how he went to court. So it's not difficult for them to have found it. As I say, Stephen Morgan didn't even bother declaring it, and Amanda used money from a convicted criminal to go and win the election. Now, she only won by about 800 votes, Gavin. So if she didn't accept that money, it's very likely that she wouldn't have had enough money to campaign as effectively, which means she probably, maybe not have won, because 800 votes is a really small amount in the scheme of things. So she used a convicted criminal's money to do that. Now, not only that, on top of that, this convicted criminal wasn't just any criminal, Gavin. No, he wasn't. He was a Labour councillor for many years, a Labour supporter and a Labour donator locally. He was very well known in the local scenes. He was a big name in Hampshire's Labour Party. And Labour Party kicked him out years ago because they knew of his criminal activity and his conviction. So if you're trying to tell me that Amanda Martin, who was a big player before she was elected in the South East region or the Hampshire region of the Labour Party, as we all know, and I'm assuming you're a Labour member if you're defending her so much, you're telling me that she didn't know that he was a criminal. That either means she's completely incompetent and she should not be an MP to begin with because she's accepted money from a criminal, or she's a liar. That's the two options here. There isn't a third option. She's either incompetent or she's a liar. Now, bearing in mind that she's been nominated for a Rich of the Week because she lied about a road resurface, you can make up your own mind. But Gavin, thank you very much for highlighting that so I could tell all of the couple of hundred viewers that are watching exactly what you're talking about. So that's the truth about Amanda Martin. And furthermore, she says she's returned the money. Where's the proof? Where's the proof she's returned the money? I haven't seen no proof that she's returned any money. She just said that I am going to return the money. But she hasn't. Someone's put it was highlighted on their Facebook pages for ages about the money, and they only sent it back when the Times ran it as a story, I believe. I know. People did highlight to her that she took money off of a convicted criminal and she ignored it. So until the Times run it as a big front page article. Funny that, ain't it? Funny that, ain't it? And what's your thoughts on Nathan Gill? Well, Nathan Gill is going to be put in prison for a long time, Gavin. And so he should. Because he accepted money from a Russian spy, was it, as a bribe. So he is in the correct place, which is prison. That's what my thoughts are. I vote Gavin for Richard of the Week. People are turning on you, Gavin. You might end up winning the Richard of the Week award here for jumping in the comments. Gavin could end up winning the Richard of the Week award. Joe, this has got out of control. We were only meant to have 3 nominations, and now we've got Mark Roberts as a nominator. Someone that's been nominated more times than me. And now someone's put Gavin's name forward for the Richard of the Week. I mean, how does everybody else feel that's watching this? Do they believe that Gavin Thomas is clearly a Labour stooge on here, who's literally licking the bumhole of a few Labour members, clearly, has decided to put himself forward potentially for a Richard of the Week award, and hopefully he'll accept it. Someone's put, well, that backfired. You just say the Sunday Times is very right wing. Gavin's now just said the Sunday Times is very right wing. I mean, the Sunday Times, Gavin, is literally known as one of the most balanced, neutral, centrist newspapers in the country. Like they're the most respected political journalists in the country. Sorry, I had my 1 minute after 8 warning that I've gone on too long. Yeah. So saying that the Sunday Times is very right wing is crazy. I mean, that's crazy. I often think that people in the centre on the right usually are so far to the left that they think people in the centre are actually far right. That's crazy. The Times are not right wing in any proportional possibility. Oh, Cal Corkery was here. Cal Corkery's here. Welcome, Cal. So, Cal, now you've joined the chat. Let's have a little... I can bring you on live if you want, Cal. I'm happy to bring you on live if you want to have a discussion about it. This could get really fruity, Cal. But I've nominated you for a Richard of the Week award. Now, don't worry, Cal. I've nominated myself as well. So it's not just you that's been nominated. And I've nominated Amanda Martin, your ex-colleague, as well. But I've nominated you for a few reasons. I say attendance is one of them, Cal, because your attendance is shocking. Absolutely shocking. However, I've also nominated you because you're on the chair of the employment committee for, I don't know how many years, 2 years, 3 years altogether. and you sat on the employment committee for certainly a lot longer, but you don't even know what employment law is. You have no idea what employment law is, because you have said in an article, which you know I've emailed you about, because I am going to chase you on this one, Cal. You have said that businessman whose companies have repeatedly broken employment law. Now, my companies have not broken employment law, Cal. This is why you have been nominated for a Rich of the Week award, my friend, because tribunals, especially in the absence of a defence, are not admissions of guilt or a breach of the law. That's a fact. That's something you can't deny. Not finishing the end of that song if anyone knows it. So you've actually made a libelous comment there, Cal, my friend. Now, I don't look, just as a side note, me and Cal sit completely opposite politically, completely opposite. And we've always known that. But on a personal level, I actually don't mind Cal. He's the kind of guy that you could have a pint with at the end of a Pompey football match, because he's a big Pompey supporter. I actually don't mind Cal. I've sat down and had coffees with him. But politically, we sit opposite. And on this one, Cal, you got it wrong, mate. So you should apologise, because you got it wrong. And in a couple of weeks' time, you'll see that it's been set aside anyway, and you got it really, really wrong. So hopefully you do the admirable thing and you apologise. That's all I'm asking for, because you got this one wrong. If you want to come on live, Cal, and debate it right now, you are welcome to come on. I will send you the link and you can come on this live stream this very second. This very second. You can have a debate with me about it. So, I know. So George, proper rustling feathers of these other councillors. I know. Look at this. People are being jumped on. Yes, Gavin. I mean, you could be being trumped by Cal. I don't know. You could be. I know. Come on, Cal. Shall I get the link and just send it to him, just in case he does? 1 second. Let's see if I can do this. Copy invite link. There you go. Right. Where is Cal? Cal. Cal, message me on Facebook and I'll send you a link to join. I've got the copy link here. You can join live and debate me if you want. I'm well up for that. I've got the link, Cal, and I'm keeping an eye on my Facebook now. So if you inbox me now on Facebook, I will send you the link to come and join me live. And maybe you can join me live and just disagree. We can have a debate about the situation. Maybe you can talk to me about why you're not happy and why you feel that I've broke the employment law. Because you've made a claim that I've broken employment law repeatedly. And that's factually incorrect. So let's have a discussion about it. The viewers are waiting. Do you know what? I've not dropped any viewers for a long time, actually. That's I think everyone's waiting to see if he'll come on or not. So anyway, Gavin, I think, mate, you've gone into the distance. And Gavin, I'm not debating you, mate. Not because I don't like you. I'm sure you're a lovely guy. And just remember, everyone that's watching this, can I just make this a point, actually? Because I know there's a lot of tension or jokes going on. And I even say this to our friend Gavin Thomas here, is that we've all got different political opinions, right? All of us have got different political opinions. But you should never let them subsume you. Just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean you have to hate that person. And if you disagree with someone, doesn't make them a bad person. I have one of my very good friends is a Labour councillor who is definitely left-wing Labour councillor. You guys know him, Mark Coates, Councillor Mark Coates. He is definitely very far on the left wing, and I am obviously on the right of politics. And we get on like a house on fire. Politically, we don't agree on almost anything whatsoever, and we debate it constantly. But just because you don't politically agree doesn't mean that they're a bad person. So always remember that. Always remember that. I mean, Udi, yeah. I mean, Matt, ignore that. Udi is a bad person and a bad councillor and a bad politician. She's the example. She's the side note of what I'm saying. She's just bad all round. Oh, Mark's jumped in the chat. Mark Roberts. Mark, mate, you've been nominated for a Richard of the Week award. Someone's put, did Amanda Martin delete Boscher's comment? Yes. Now, just as an update on the running totals, guys, an update on the running totals is Amanda is winning, followed by Cal Corkery in second place, followed by Mark Roberts in third place, followed by Gavin in 4th place, and followed by me in 5th place. Now, I must just disclaimer, Gavin and Mark weren't even options before this live stream started, and somehow they've been picked as potential people. So I'm not sure entirely what's happened there, but yeah, they've been put forward as potential people, which is hilarious. Give me 1 second. Trying to... I don't know. Me and technology, dreadful. Me and technology, absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. See if this works. Nope, it doesn't work. Oh, yeah, it does. There you go. Right. So that's the winners currently. So you can still nominate people if you want. I'll put the chat back on. Just in case you... there is no prize, Mark. You get a certificate. A printed certificate, Mark. That's what you get. That is what you get. I'm not hearing from Cal Corkery at all. I thought he was going to come on and debate me. That's a shame, isn't it? I hope he apologises to me, because he got it wrong. And if you get something wrong, you should apologise. Simple as that. Simple as that. Just for the avoidance of doubt, so you know I'm not lying, Cal Corkery, that's the link, mush. Click it and you'll come on live. I've just sent it to you on Facebook. Come on live, debate me. You've made a massive claim against me. You said that I've repeatedly broken employment law. You have the worst attendance record on council. You literally have sat on the employment committee for years and don't know about employment law. That's a concern. You stand up to racism. And you welcome more migrants into our city. And you currently are leading the charge with your party, with Corbyn and Zara Sultana's party in Portsmouth. Come on. There's your link. Come on. I want to come off this soon. I'll give you a couple of minutes to come and join. Give you a couple of minutes to come and join. Gavin, you're wrong again, mate. For those of you who don't know about law, just Google it. Just Google if a tribunal found a default tribunal thing found in default of a defense is an admission of guilt or wrongdoing. Or have a look if it actually means that it's a court finding. It is not. A tribunal is not a court finding, a legal court finding, Gavin. It's not a breach of employment law. That is a fact, my friend. And the one thing you won't beat me on, Gavin, is law. Trust me. I know law like the back of my hand. I think Gavin's actually upset that he's going to be trumped by Cow here. I don't know why Cow's gone. This is very sad, people. He seems to have come on here, jumped on a comment after talking shit, and he's just disappeared. Come on, Cow. Come. Do you know what? He likes a pitchfork with a banner attached to it, doesn't it? 1 second. So 1 second. This might make Cow feel more at home. Stand up to racism. No hate. No fear. Councillor Corkery, welcome here. Here you go, Cal. I'm making you feel more at home. Oh, I mucked up the lettering. There's my illiterateness. Oh, my dog's here. Oh, both of my dogs are here. 1, 2. Here you go, Cal. Pitchfork. Stand up to racism. No hate. No fear. Councillor Corkery's welcome here. That's their little slogan. Come on, Cal. Come on. You've got the link. Give you 2 more minutes to come on. Don't bottle it. You're meant to be a politician. Come and debate with a politician. Anyway, Amanda's still winning the nomination. So I'll give you 1 more minute to pick an option. And say we've got 5 options now. Some of you are going to be so confused. You can nominate me as the Richard of the week, as the Dick of the week. It's not back to front, Richard. It's not back to front. It's because it's a mirrored camera. I'm not that clever to write back to... Could you imagine if I was that clever to write it back to front? No hate, no fear. Councillor Corkery's welcome here. No hate, no fear. Councillor Corkery's welcome here. Come on, Cal. Come on. No hate, no fear, bro. Come on. But, you can still nominate people. You can still nominate people. At the moment, Amanda's winning. Get Mark on. Do you know what? We should get Mark on. Mark, do you want to come on? I'll stay on just for Mark if Mark wants to come on. Message Mark, if you want to come on, message me and I'll send you the link. You can come on. I don't know where Cal's gone. There's no way that he's left this live stream. There is no way that he is not currently watching this. Not a chance. He didn't just come on, comment, and then leave, did he? Don't know why he's being a bottle job for. I say I don't even dislike Cal on a personal level. I just don't agree with his politics, that's all. But if he wants a reasonable, sensible debate, I'm all here for it. I'm sure that you at home would love it. I've never seen a lack of drop of viewers before like this. Like, literally all of you are hanging on just to the chance that he comes on Debates Me live right now. Someone's put, oh, what a surprise. He's probably too busy and arguing with his own members. Yeah, have you seen that with your party? Did that Zara Sultana basically steal 800 grand or something? Like, she put a link out for people to join and then it wasn't an official link, and now she's holding it in a bank account that she has or something and is not giving it all to the party or something. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, they're all arguing. They're all leaving. 2 of the MPs have already left the group in the last week. Gavin's put, here come the personal attacks. What personal attacks did I make, Gavin? I don't make no personal attacks. Nothing I ever say is personal. If you watch me or interact with my stuff enough, you'll know that I basically just joke continually. It's my way of dealing with things. Think we should all be allowed to change the vote because Cal bottled the live. I know he has bottled the live, hasn't he? I know. It's literally open. I'm also waiting for Mark. Mark, mate. Mark. Where are you? Mark can come on the live. And just to say, just so you know, I'm not talking crap. Cal has had the link to join the live stream sent to him. It's there. He can come and join. But he's not, is he? How dull. Maybe we should get him on another show. Oh, on another news, we will be having a special guest. 2 special guests next month, actually. We'll be having a well-known ex-politician, shall we say, on the show. I won't announce who that is yet, but we'll have a well-known ex-politician on the show. And we're also going to be having a Q&A session for you guys at home with Reform's mayoral candidate once it's announced. So they have picked a mayoral candidate. They haven't announced it yet. But once that person has been announced and you all know who it is, that person has... Well, actually, that person contacted me and asked me to come on the show. So that was really flattering. I was very... yeah, I was happy about that. That was cool. That person watches the show. And yeah, it was cool to have that person contact me and say, you know, I'm going to be the mayor candidate and can I come on your show? Absolutely. So within the next couple of weeks, hopefully, depending on when Reform announce the mayor candidate, like the week or 2 after they announce the mayor candidate, that person will come on the show and answer your questions live, which would be really, really cool. And we'll get them on just before Purda as well next year. So anyway, it looks like, guys, that Amanda has won the Richard of the Week award. It got close for a time. Gavin, come in, didn't you, Gavin? You came in, sideswiped the whole competition and put your name forward. But you didn't win it. You did get more votes than me, though, so you made an achievement. But the Richard of the Week award goes to Mrs. Amanda Martin for claiming a road resurface that she never had any involvement in. And I will print off a copy of this Richard of the Week award. I'll put her name on it. I'll put it in her frame and I'll drop it through her door so that she's got the Richard of the Week award. I'll do that this week. So she will have that. So this week's winner is Amanda Martin. As I say, last week's winner was, let's have a look at last week's winner. Where is the last week's winner? Oh, it's this. There you go. This was last week's winner for the tweet. I know, literally, Josh just put, we've not discussed anything this week other than Richards. I know, Josh. Like, it just, do you know what? I just came on the show and all of a sudden no one cared about the conversation about defunding the BBC. People just want to talk about the Richard of the Week. And we've done an hour now on deciding the Richard of the Week. Gavin, there's always next week, my friend. Please do come on. And joking aside, Gavin, listen, you might not like my politics, you might not like my show, but please do always come and get involved. And as long as you keep it respectful and you keep the conversation respectful, and as long as you debate respectfully, then I'm all here for it, my friends. And you can always come on and disagree with me whatsoever, because no matter what political opinions we've got, we should all try and be a bit kinder to each other in this world where we can. Yeah, Cal put he had a. I'll read this comment, Gavin. Cal put up that he had a family bereavement in July, hence his lack of attendance at meetings. That's fair enough if he did. That's fair enough if he did. But you know, the attendance is still poor. You know, we all have things going on in life. Trust me. Well, you know too well. A lot of us have things going on in life. I don't want to speak on behalf of another councillor, but what I will say is that there was another example of somebody losing a direct family member, and that person was in council the next day at a recorded meeting, and the day after, and the day after. So I do understand people deal with grief differently. I get that completely. Absolutely. I respect that. But a bad attendance is still a bad attendance. And that's not the main reason why he was nominated anyway. The main reason why he was nominated anyway is because, as I say, he made a factually incorrect statement, which was stupid. And that's the whole thing. It's a stupid comment of the week award. And he didn't win anyway, so clearly people didn't think it was that bad, Gavin. So there you go. Always opinion, not person. Amen, Gavin. So let's say there's a lot of people that I don't get on with politically in my life that I'm still friends with and will have a beer with, you know? And that's the main thing. And Matt, I'm not having a takeaway. You clearly missed the start of the show when I've already had my takeaway for the night. I've already actually even taken my boys for a walk, but I am going to take them for another walk before I'm a Celebrity comes on, and we shall be doing that. But I want to thank everybody for watching, and yeah, Amanda Martin is the winner. So hopefully all of you can congratulate Amanda Martin. Hopefully you can always congratulate her and on her awards. Maybe even tag her. Maybe even tweet her and say, congratulations, Amanda, on winning the Richard of the Week award. She'll be so confused because I'm telling you now, she definitely doesn't watch this. Although she's probably already been told that it's happened. But there's no way she's wasting her time watching this, is there? She doesn't like me in the slightest, so I can't imagine her doing so. But I'm sure maybe Gavin's told her. Maybe Gavin, you told Amanda? You told Amanda? But thanks everybody for tuning in. You can rewatch the whole show if you missed it on catch up in about 5 minutes. And we will see you next week on Sunday at 7 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody.